What makes it easier for you guys to share your story with other families that don't have the freedom to reach out? How is it easier for you? Because I know it can be really tough opening to the community and just letting everyone know about this personal issue.
You want me to hold? What what makes it easier is number one. I don't have a fear of people. I love people, and so I think that's what and but more importantly, I feel like an obligation of mine. Through my faith, I believe that uh, God is what's given me the strength to, to for us to wake up every day and be. I mean, some days it's you just want to stay in bed and you just want to cover your head and hope that it goes away, but it isn't going away. And the thing of it is that we have a great support group. This community is amazing. I love Fireball. I believe that the people here, I mean, they reach out to us. They help us. If I needed somebody, I don't always ask people, and everybody tells me, if you need my help, let me know. And I know that I can. Right, right. I mean, and we have our families. I have a mother that is completely devoted to helping us all the time. She's 75 years old, but she's here in the trenches with us all the time. I have a sister that her daughter, Sydney. My nephew Michael. Like we even do Sunday dinners. That's our thing now. My brother-in-law Michael. We get together, and whatever family members want to come, we've united, and right. And I think that, I mean, that's a little bit of something, but it makes we look forward to the weekends. So maybe this is something that other families that are going through this might want to do. I don't know. I mean, I just think that it's just it's a calling. I feel that makes it a little bit easier for me versus other people. I don't know. I mean, that's just kind of my.
Yeah, I understand. It makes it easier when you're going through things to have people around. Just having someone there and wanting to come and go through it with you. That's awesome that the community's like that. If you don't mind talking a little more about your husband, when was your husband diagnosed with ALS?
He was diagnosed on January 4th, 2012. He actually started showing signs the year before, in January of the year before. Started out with imbalance. He had cramping. He had a drop foot for quite some time, so we don't know if that's something that could have been related. It's called fasciculation, and it's like you can see it's like your nerves move. So he started getting that. Just the weakness in the legs, and it kind of just started way back then. And from the time we actually started, doctor, January, he was.
How has ALS affected your family the most?
Well,
I know it's tough.
Yeah.
And it's affected you in so many ways.
Well, it's affected us because my husband, he's always been, a hard worker. He's been the best dad. We've, gone to all of our games. I mean, we never missed anything from our kids. We did all of that. Honestly, is the thing I miss the most, and we still do it. We still try to go to all the games and do all the different things, but it's hard. I mean, it's hard. It's lack of sleep, exhaustion, frustration, not having enough patience sometimes, because it is, and it's a hard thing, and most importantly for him, because, his body is shutting down, and while his body is shutting down, his mind is aware. And that's the thing with this. And that's what I want people to know. When you think about, okay, say the ice bucket challenge, when you're thinking about that water, you know what? I mean, you got a person that basically, what happens with this disease is you get entombed in your own body, and your mind knows what's going on, And so that's the thing, is that I can't stress enough to tell you that it's, to see somebody have to go through that, and to feel like you're losing control of everything that you've ever had, you know. But like I said, I mean, what hurts the most is just that, for me, that he can't go fishing anymore like he used to with my boys, and do the things, taking my son hunting, going to the games, doing all the things with my daughter, just us being a family the way that we used to be. But we've had to change things, and we've grown closer. But it's a tough thing. It's very tough, for a family to go through this.
And you mentioned that he showed signs. Did you guys recognize the signs early before he was diagnosed?
No, not at all. Honestly, I didn't. I did know about ALS because someone in our community had it that I knew of, and then we had a cousin, second cousin, and which he passed away from it, and it was on my husband's side, very young, but I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't look into it. I didn't and when initially they thought maybe it was MS, and then they thought maybe it was his back. He had problems with deterioration in his back, but he's never had any pain in his back, which is crazy. I mean, I do believe that God has spared him from that, because he could very easily. He has deteriorating discs in his back, but he's never had any pain. So I mean, by the grace of God, he's been able to not have pain.
And so, what would be your, I guess, advice or helpful hint to families who maybe they're someone in their family member has ALS and they don't see the signs? Now looking back, what would you tell someone to watch out for, to look for?
Well, sometimes all the things that I told you, as far as sometimes you might have, I mean, we all have the twitching sometimes, but honestly, I was reading something and I was talking about that, that different people have, when, if it's a constant, don't jump the gun, because the thing with ALS is there is no specific test that can tell you have ALS. That's what's crazy. You can't just go in and then they're going to tell you have ALS. They eliminate everything, and then that's kind of what they're left with. And so that's what they basically had to do. But I think that if you're having, falling, or the weakness, and it's a constant, and not just every now, but I mean, if it's constant and you can't pick, things up, or if you're, with your legs, or just different things like that, I mean, I think that you should make sure to have it, checked out.
And from your experience, what advice can you give to others that have recently been diagnosed with ALS?
Well, I would say in Fresno we attend the UCSF Neurological Clinic. It's right there by Fresno Community. It's on the side, and we go there every 3 months. We've been going ever since he got diagnosed, and it's the most amazing clinic. It's the best clinic around. I honestly, we were in San Francisco, and they didn't, they don't measure up. They just give you so much support and love, and I honestly believe that that's why we have been able to go as far as we have, because we've had their support, with Dr. Rosenfeld and his whole team there in Fresno. So that would be my first thing, is go to the clinic and get help. And I would also say, go to support group. I didn't do that. We didn't do that in the beginning, because we were very, I didn't want to see what was real. I didn't want to see the reality of what it was. And maybe I was protecting our minds a little bit, but in the end, I think that it would have benefited us a lot more.
Okay. Well, I thank you very much for opening up your story and your family and your whole lives with us in the community. It's very a serious situation, and I'm glad that you'd like to bring awareness to it. Thank you for having time to meet with us. Have a great day. And